Hi, and welcome to the 2020 Economic Recession and Preparation channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're getting the latest notifications for videos and the latest financial news from our team. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the latest reports from the OECD. They project that global GDP will collapse by 4.5% this year. The OECD, which is the Organization of Economic and Cooperative Countries, developed countries, say that the GDP will collapse by 4.5% this year. Critically hit sectors such as travel and tourism industries, have fully not recovered. As you know, it's going to take years for the airline industry, the cruise industry, the retail industry, and the job market to come back after strict lockdown measures were imposed earlier this year and are still ongoing in many parts of this country. Many countries are grappling with a resurgence of the number of infections. The Paris-based institution also warned of considerable differences across different countries. People are doing a lot of window shopping, but not buying. Even though there's major liquidation sales in outlet stores such as Pier 1 Imports, which is closing down, and other stores. The global economy has performed better than expected, quote, and is still on track for an unprecedented decline in output, said the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Can you believe that? We're 7 to 8 months into this sickness worldwide, and we're still in a hole. This economy, the world economy, is in an abyss that it's dug its hole even deeper. Now, this is an upward revision from the one made in June that pointing to a 6% fall in gross domestic product. So I guess that's some good news, is that they raised it up to only a negative 4.5% decline for the world output, the world GDP, not just the United States GDP. The drop in global output in 2020 is smaller than expected, although it's still unprecedented in recent history, said in its report. Going forward, the OECD expects the global economy to grow by 5% in 2021. That's if we get the sickness under control, which we're not. Nonetheless, the outlook remains exceptionally uncertain due to this whole sickness pandemic. Many countries, are grappling with a resurgence of infections, namely the United States and South Korea and Hong Kong and Brazil. As a result, many authorities worldwide may impose new restrictions on its citizens in the coming weeks to contain, quote, new waves, which would add further pressure on this global economy. The Paris-based institution said that they aim to stimulate economic development, but they also warned of, quote, considerable differences across different countries. In other words, a lot of countries and developing countries are not getting along in terms of what to do. What's the plan to help dig ourselves out this hole, as many countries are in debt. Mainly the United States is the number one debt producer. China, the United States, and the Eurozone area are expected to perform better than originally forecast in June. In comparison, growth expectations for India, Mexico, and South Africa have worsened. China is seen growing by only 1.8% in 2020. It's the only country, though, among the OECD estimates that is expected to experience growth. By contrast, the United States economy is set to contract by 3.8%, and the Eurozone is even worse in Europe, 7.9% contraction. The picture becomes even more dire for India, Argentina, the UK, South Africa, and Mexico, which are all forecast to collapse by more than 10% GDP to end this year. Rising income inequality worldwide, the haves and the have-nots, the eradication of the middle class, the eradication of the middle class's bread and butter food supply, the eradication of our farming and manufacturing sectors here in the homeland has led to a worldwide global collapse, which we cannot get out of. As a matter of fact, the only options now on the table is more of a Cold War, trade war between us and China for the next 12 years, or some kind of world conflict that they hope will help to stimulate this economy, space war or some other kind of war to help stimulate this economy. The problem is America's in so much debt, 27 trillion, that it cannot afford to sustain a war even in the homeland. A war versus the have and have-nots will absolutely decimate this country. And we certainly do not want any smoke with China and Russia and the alliances they have with the powers that they have right now, as their economies will be on the upswing next year and ours will fall farther on the abyss, into the abyss. Now, albeit their economy is only growing by 1.8% this year, China and Russia, but still, that is better than nothing. We're on the negative decline. We're walking a fine line. A dangerous precipice has been set now. A dangerous precedent has been set by the Federal Reserve to continue pumping phony money into this economy. And by, frankly, every bank, central bank around the world has been doing this. Making up loans, pumping money into the economy, stimulus money they call it, QE, quantitative easing. We're on the 6th QE5 and 6 unlimited quantitative easing. That comes at a cost, and that cost is going to be severe hyperinflation and severe depression for the United States and for the world, but more so for the Western countries, the United States and Europe. So continue, my friends, to get prepared. Continue to grow your own food. Continue to learn how to build things with your hands. Continue to teach your kids and the younger generation about the need to be self-sustainable and live off the grid, to live among nature in harmony and peace. Because this is the kind of skills that they're going to need in addition to learning different languages and the digital skills that they need to be learning in the virtual climate that which we live in. This is what we must prepare for. It is not the politicians that are going to save us. It is not a particular stimulus package that's going to save us. It's going to be the human ingenuity of Americans, hardworking Americans that came here, that built this country from the ground up. And unfortunately, we've gotten too comfortable. We've gotten too comfortable with all of everything that we've had in this country. And we're not used to pain, but the pain is coming. And so we have to wean ourselves off. We have to withdraw ourselves off this materialism in all generations, from the baby boomers to millennials to Gen X and Gen Y to Gen Z. We have to get ourselves off of this materialism back to a manageable standard of living and a manageable budget where spending and debts equal and balance out a zero-based budget. But that's not going to come but through sacrifice. And unfortunately, the pain is here too late. And so get ready for 12 years of hardship, of famine, of high crime, high taxes, but no services, less services, city services, county services, state services, federal services. Get ready, get prepared now. I pray that you and your family are safe during this sickness and the pandemic. And I pray that you're getting prepared every day. Whatever step you can take helps. Every little bit helps. Something is better than nothing. Just remember that. No matter how small your budget is, you think your budget is, something is better than nothing. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you very soon. Have a blessed day. Please subscribe. I'll see you soon.